We can just name that episode Matt's career-ending move or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that'd be good.
To kick it off, because it's been on my mind the entire time. Because Ethan was talking about UPFs.
Yes.
Yes.
And no, it's not what you think. I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna open the bag.
Oh man, the ASMR people are they're going crazy right now.
But
the crinkle of the bag too. Oh, okay.
They're good for you, kind of.
Not kind really. Of. Because there's some semblance of sweet potato in there.
I mean, they're still probably super parched or super processed.
Yeah.
They're grain-free and non-GMO and kosher and gluten-free and vegan.
All the buzzwords.
Yeah. Countless pounds of sweet potatoes go to waste every year for being imperfect, so they upcycle them into.
I mean, that's smart to use like whatever sweet potatoes. It's a good thing.
Are they good?
They're good, but
not as good as hot fries.
I should have got some handicaps to have like side by side.
Yeah,
because you still have like,
time, Matt.
Like, you know, like they're like the veggie straws, like they still have the little
oh yeah. Uh-huh.
So I'm being robbed of delicious sweet fry.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that. That they're actually screwing us by doing that, by leaving the hole in those things.
Wait, does the hot fries have the hole too?
Oh no, but the veggie straws. Oh. Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Okay, I'll have 2 more and I'll shut it down.
Go to town. Yeah, have as much as you want. Although, you know, so Colin doesn't have much of a voice today, so me and Matt are supposed to carry things. So if Matt ends up just stuffing his face with sweet potato fries the whole time, that puts a lot of pressure on me. So, you know.
I mean, maybe that's what the people want to see. Like, everyone tune into YouTube to see how fast Matt can eat this bag of sweet potato fries.
If you can beat my what did we call it? The FPM.
FPM, yeah, fries per minute.
Yeah, the FPM. Yep.
That's a beat. That's a beat.
Well, I had a couple of things that I was curious to talk about.
Whoa.
Are you talking? I wasn't sure you were going to talk.
You're a terrible host.
What?
Aren't you going to talk about what you're drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking water.
What?
Because I'm taking a little break. I'm taking a little break from all inebriating substances. I'm trying to take like a week or 2 off just to see how I feel.
Ethan, you moved to Colorado.
I know.
Come on.
I know.
Like, isn't that state like 2 minutes away from making magic mushrooms legal, or didn't they do that already?
I believe they already did. That's what I heard. Yeah, which is very exciting. Yeah. It's not like not sold in stores or anything, but yeah, I believe that they're fully legal. I think.
Yeah.
So
were they the first?
No, Oregon, I think.
Oregon. Yeah, I was gonna say Oregon or Washington. Yeah.
Oregon decriminalized a lot.
Yeah. So, but no, I've been like groggy a lot lately and shit, and I tend to have like my beers or whatever, my strong beers, like late at night and everything. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna see how I feel if I take a little pause. And plus, next week with Thanksgiving and stuff, I'll probably end up drinking a lot. So I was like, let me pause a little bit.
I think you're groggy because you're not having your pre-bed toke.
I mean, I wondered about that, but I thought that the toke was doing more harm, that it was making me more groggy, you know? So
don't count out the medicinal effects of late night adult cartoons.
I mean, I would vouch for that as much as anybody usually. Yeah.
Which that reminds me, I need to watch more Rick and Morty. I've only watched the first episode.
Yeah, I haven't even done the 6th season yet. I did the 1 episode with you, and then the first episode, and that's it. I got to do season 6 still.
Also, are you keeping up on anything? You know, this is now the Ethan and Matt cartoon catch-up hour.
Yeah.
The Solar Opposites.
Yeah, caught up on that. Yep, I watched that season. Big Mouth came out with its 7th season.
Okay, I haven't done Big Mouth yet, but
I mean, Big Mouth is like my favorite show of all time, pretty much at this. Well, the holy trinity for me at this point is Parks and Rec, 30 Rock, and Big Mouth. I would say,
but still, no inebriating substances. That's Ethan. You're going through changes.
Yeah, yes, I am. That's right. Uh-huh. And it's weird because, I was joking that like with my partner that with Big Mouth especially or any of these shows, what would be really fun is like when they would first come out with new seasons, is I would watch the entire new season stoned, right? And then so after I would finish it, I wouldn't necessarily remember it that well. So I could watch it again like immediately, and so I get like double the enjoyment right away. You know what I mean? And so I'm not quite getting that this time, but it's okay.
Well, I guess since I'm the only one drinking a beverage tonight of alcoholic proportions,
What do you got?
it's Growing Up Absurd by Root and Branch Brewing on Long Island.
Oh, you've sent me some Root and Branch. I don't know. I can't remember if you sent Kyle some too.
I'm not sure.
It looks familiar.
It was the Anthony Bourdain beer they did, Bone in the Throat.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So this is a double IPA. It's nice and cloudy and hazy and delicious.
Nice.
They do a good job. Speaking of that, you guys better be drinking soon. Don't actually. That's not a threat or anything. But you guys are getting some beer soon. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah.
Well, number one, it's Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you said last year, Ethan, you loved New Zealand Hop Week.
Oh yeah, that's right. I loved those beers.
I gotcha.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I need to send, and I'm going to be vague here in case you don't want it public, but I need to send a congratulatory gift for your partner for the big life event that just happened. So, that's gonna head out your way as well.
You mean for me or for Colin? Because both of our partners have had some.
For you, but
you were talking to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. That's super exciting. And I'm not like quitting drinking for a long-term period or whatever, right? This is just a short-term thing and just kind of seeing. That's all. So once that box comes,
Christine, don't worry, something's coming your way too.
Well, what you could do is just not drink so late.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could try that too. That's a possibility. I don't know if that'll make that much of a difference. I mean, they say, right? They say that like alcohol really disrupts your sleep and stuff, and so if you're going to drink, it's better to drink earlier in the day, right? So that probably is a good idea.
Okay,
and,
so tomorrow
maybe I'll try that.
I prescribe you to have a beer with breakfast.
Yeah, right, exactly, like 10 a.m. Yeah. Uh-huh. So.
That's when you eat breakfast, 10 a.m.?
Oh, I don't even eat breakfast. I never have an appetite. I pretty much don't eat until like 2 o'clock, if that.
Oh, there you go.
My appetite's all fucked up. Maybe, but I like have no appetite for hours when I wake up. It's not good.
Toddy is gonna blow up your phone tomorrow when she hears this.
I know you're supposed to eat and drink water and all of this. Whatever. I don't have an appetite in the morning. I like nothing sounds good. I don't want to eat. Maybe I should start doing those. What I can do is I can drink. Maybe I should do those Soylent. You guys know about the Soylent shakes?
Yeah, I've got some in my fridge.
Yeah, the nutrition shakes. They're pretty impressive, and don't taste bad either.
Yeah, we got samples actually when I was in college because the guy who founded it was a Sigma Nu from somewhere out west. So.
Oh, nice.
But that was back then. It was just like the
powder,
pasty powder. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've got like a handful of the chocolate ones in my fridge. They're not bad. They're good in a pinch, but just beware. Sometimes they can give you a little tummy issues. So
yeah. I think I generally have done okay with them, but yeah.
But I like their slogan, right? It's not meant to replace every meal, but it can replace any meal. So
yeah, I mean sorry.
I usually kept like 3 or 4 in my office at work, just if it was like a bad day and I couldn't get up for lunch, just have that, and it makes me feel full for another 4 or 5 hours. So
yeah,
it's like 400 calories, gets you a good dose of everything.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of, with these things, right? I kind of just marvel. It's like they're like scientific miracles, right? I mean, it's this bottle of liquid that tastes okay, 400 calories. They like pack in like all of the necessary vitamins and minerals and shit. They pack in some protein. Like it's pretty amazing that stuff even exists, So, anywho, Kyle, you're not having anything tonight because of the throat or whatever's going on?
Yeah. Right, yeah, I'm having lemon honey and water. And this
you should have a hot toddy.
Yeah. And this is
the
the best
whiskey.
my voice has sounded since Tuesday.
Wow. Okay.
As bad as it still sounds. So it's just if I go long, like that's probably when it's going to start breaking up even more. Like I start to get a tickle in my throat, start to have coughing fits, and everything. So, but I'll definitely do my best to engage with whatever topics y'all want to talk about.
Okay, sweet.
You could poke the bear too. I know Matt wants to.
Actually, I really haven't even given thought to poking the Nittany Lion this week. So
After they lost to Michigan again.
We beat Michigan in 2020, so it hasn't been that long.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. All right, it's not bad. It just seemed to me it seems like they like never win against Michigan or Ohio State. Like that meme that Matt or the GIF that Matt sent us.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while since. Yeah. I mean, that was the last time they beat either one of them was 2020.
Yeah.
So it's been 3 seasons now, and
right.
Yeah, frustrating. But they did make a big move. They fired the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Which I was telling Toddy, I had just finished writing my column about like 20 minutes before, and I was editing it, and in it I had speculated. I had just thought like he's probably going to get the rest of the season, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go for a new OC before the bowl game. And then the news broke, and I was like,
yeah.
Well, I'm not rewriting it. I'll just put a little asterisk and say I'll add on to this later. But it just unfortunately wasn't a good fit. But it gives Franklin an opportunity to make it right, and he's taken a lot of accountability this week. I think overall to silence some of the critics, but also just to provide some clarity into how the program is being run right now, which is a little refreshing, but it doesn't change the fact that they have 2 losses to Ohio State and Michigan, and are trying to play for a New Year's Six bowl, which is great, but it's not the playoffs, and it's not where anyone thought they were going to go this year. In the real tricky's not the right word, but the offensive coordinator is the one who offered and brought in the number 1 quarterback recruit in the country, last year. And he may still, excuse me, Drew may still pan out to be a good quarterback, but he has definitely, in some ways, regressed. It feels like, especially lately, and just maybe been a little too up and down overall for the talent level that he's supposed to have as a 5-star. So, that was definitely interesting. Franklin talked about how it was Drew and Bo and the other quarterback that he told first, and then he told the team, and then he was going to call the parents, but during practice it leaked out on Sunday. So he did call the parents, but and everything. So just interesting, overall. But I'll definitely I'll definitely be happy. I don't know. It sucks because, and we were talking about this last time, like you don't get a chance now to beat them in this format, with the 4-team playoff and with those 3 teams all in the same division. They're still in a good spot, and I still envision good things for them in the future, and I think they'll make the playoffs a little bit not more regularly because they haven't made it yet, but I think they will make the playoffs in this new format. But I think everyone will kind of look back at this year and be like, what if we had just won one of those games, and what that could have done for the program. But can't look back now. You just got to move forward.
Yeah, I think the day is still going to come, right? It's tough. I hate to say it, but it's almost like you become the Yankees of the Big Ten, right? Like you've got the history, like you're almost there all the time, but you can't get over the hump. Like I don't know, maybe it's bad analogy. I don't know.
That might be the first time anyone's compared Penn State to the Yankees.
I mean, at least in the last 20 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing I wrote in my latest column. I'm like, people are all up Franklin's butt, and in some ways, rightfully so. But the success he's having, in spite of the challenges, both from administrative sanctions, everything that you can, NIL, everything that you can think of, is unmatched in program history.
Yeah.
And like, they haven't been like what I think some of the old time Penn State people hold on to since 1994. That was the last time they had an undefeated season. They've gotten close, particularly in 2005, but it hasn't happened this century. Like there's 6-31 overall against Ohio State and Michigan, and that's not all Franklin. That's Paterno. That's Bill O'Brien. Like it's in the 21st century. I don't know if I said that.
I was wondering what the record was,
right?
recently.
Because you've got 120 other FBS teams that would love to be in the spot that Penn State's in. It's
right. And that's where it's tough.
You guys like you're like A-, right? Like there's 10 teams that you have a struggle with,
mm-hmm.
and then you're better than everyone else.
Yeah,
and it's like I'm just saying 10, meaning like just Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Alabama. Right? There's going to be that certain super league of teams that Penn State is a member of, but can't quite get over the hump.
Yeah, and I'd rather them be where they are than
Syracuse.
Texas is having a good year, and maybe they'll make a run, but Texas has had a long time before, or since they've been, Texas. Same with Miami, same with Nebraska, like all these former blue bloods that haven't been able to figure out in the modern game. I'd rather be in this position, but I also understand like wanting to take that next step, of course, like, and there's frustrations there and everything, but this to me is like a classic situation where the grass isn't necessarily greener, with another coach or, anything like that. I think it's just some of it is just lingering circumstances from the sanctions and from, from the board being a public school and not getting on board with NIL, as quickly as we needed to. And, if we could stay, and I had said this, Matt, to you, I think even before the loss, like, if we can stay where we are now, like not stay stagnant, but stay like keep matching in terms of NIL, keep matching in terms of depth, keep matching in these things that really compound over time, then you'll start to see some of that turn into wins on Saturdays. But if they only make the big move for this year to get the NIL, and then they don't upgrade until 5 years from now, and Ohio State and Texas A&M and Alabama and Georgia, all those programs keep throwing tons of money, then it's not going to matter. Like they're never going to make that step. So
my hope is that there's still some integrity there, and you don't turn into a Texas A&M. I mean that to me is just mind-boggling. So Ethan.
I was going to say, Ethan, do you even know?
They just fired Jimbo Fisher.
I knew about the Jimbo Fisher getting fired, and he's getting like a shit ton of money.
I mean, that's because a powerful group of donors kind of pushed it. And the boosters are going to be pumping a bunch of money in there, but that's still technically $76 million of state funds.
$76 million.
State funds.
State funds?
State funds.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, right.
And it doesn't stop him from making, like, how, like, if like when Hicks got cut, he could only make the league minimum with the Orioles.
Yeah.
Like, if
Fisher
got hired,
sign another contract somewhere else
and make money. Okay, wow. Yeah.
And still get all that money.
Holy shit.
So shame on them for giving that contract to begin with, but like that to me is just, it's just priorities. I mean, college football in general is fucked up, but the priorities there just that hurts. And if right, I wish there were more folks in Texas who were upset about it. No, there's got to be plenty, but
I mean, didn't you ever see Friday Night Lights? Football and God. That's the only in guns. That's the only things that matter in Texas. It doesn't matter.
High school football.
Clear eyes, true hearts, can't lose. Whatever the fuck it's called.
Well, that was for the TV show. I think I'm thinking of the movie.
Clear windows, true blood, can't fail.
It's really good. Yeah,
there you go. There's an episode title for you.
Yeah. Clear
That's
windows.
what Miles Sanders, his social media tag is Booby Miles, some numbers or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it every time I see it.
80013.
I don't know what it is, but
Oh, if you type it into a calculator or whatever.
8000813.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a visual joke on a podcast.
That's a visual
Yes.
90s joke.
I got it.
So that's good. Yeah.
It took me back to my high school days.
I gotta say, because it's already gone. That was really good. Like that was tasty.
Is that an IPA?
It's double IPA.
Yeah.
Switching gears.
It looked like the color looked really, really good.
I got another one. It's a West Coast IPA.
You're drinking one for me. Love it.
I don't have one for Ethan then. Sorry, it's just one for you.
That's okay. Yeah.
Because I am coming off of my own 2-month hiatus.
Yeah, you are.
And I'll tell you guys, last time after I had those 2 Hop Butcher for the World beers, I was fucked up. Just two IPAs in, and man, like the next day, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And if this was college, man, I would have felt like I drank half a case last night, but I just drank 2 beers. Not that I did that a lot in college, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they were probably like high ABV, right?
Yeah, but still having a lower tolerance is not a bad thing. I am still keeping an eye on my weekly consumption of beers to keep my doctor happy. So
that's good.
All right. Well, we've been rambling a lot. Ethan, do you want to launch into your topics? Can I launch into mine really quick? Or at least I've got one I want to say. Just a shout out to the Syracuse football team with a box score looking more like that of the Army. An Army football, like we had 8 pass attempts last week against Pitt, and we had 66 rushing attempts for nearly 400 yards.
Oh my god!
Basically, our starting quarterback can't throw the ball anymore, so they did a bunch of weird shit with a tight end at the Wildcat. They won.
And Syracuse won. Holy shit!
Yeah, did win by a couple touchdowns?
Yeah, by like 28-13 over Pitt.
Oh, Pitt's really bad now. Okay.
Yeah,
Pitt was good when we were kids.
They hardly threw the ball. There was even the only reason I even knew this was happening is because ESPN.com ran a highlight as a distraction on one of the plays. They had the starting quarterback split out at wide receiver, and they did like a trick play. And to be a distraction, the quarterback did a backflip on the field.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So
Schaefer, right?
Schaefer, yeah.
Holy shit, that's hilarious.
So yeah, they have to win one of their final 2 games against Georgia Tech or Wake Forest to make a bowl. So we'll see if that happens. But
Pitt won the ACC last year, Ethan. So they're taking a nose down.
Yeah, wow. With Kenny Pickett, Kenny Ballgame. Kenny, I'm gonna fake a slide Pickett.
Holy shit! Okay,
it wasn't illegal when he did it. So
yeah. Their court. I don't know if he starts, but Christian Bayer, who was Penn State QB3 last year, transferred to Pitt. He's from Canada. I know he's gotten some playing time, but I don't know how the QB situation. The ACC is terrible to watch anyway, so I barely ever watch the ACC.
Florida State and then everyone else.
And it used to be Clemson, but like last year was nobody. Nobody was good. That's why Pitt won the ACC with, I think they were like 9-3 or something like that in the division that, or actually I don't know if they have divisions anymore. Oh wow, Miguel Andujar's in this Lindom game I'm watching right now. He's up to bat.
Wow.
Forgot he even played still.
Yeah, Jesus.
Was he with the Pirates?
Yeah, he was the Pirates.
That was this year he was? Okay.
So Ethan, what do you got? So we gotta give Colin a rest.
Yep. Yeah, we gotta give
Plus,
Colin
I don't want to hear about Penn State anymore. So
man, I'm looking at Miggy Andujar's baseball reference page, and it's just so insane. Like, how do you?
What happened? How did he get hurt in after the rookie year?
That I don't remember. Matt, do you remember?
No,
because he missed the whole season, right? 2019.
Shoulder
yeah, basically he played
something.
12 games. Wrist was what was coming in my mind, but like, and maybe the wrist injury is just bad enough that he's never fully recovered. But like, he played 149 games that rookie year, He had 47 doubles, 27 homers, an 855 OPS, which was good enough for a 130 OPS plus. We know his defense was horrible, but like that's a fantastic offensive year. Okay, and that's as a 23-year-old rookie, right? Like that's fantastic hitting. He hasn't played more than 45 games in a season since 45, and that was 2018, right? That rookie year, and so maybe the injury was just that bad or something. But I just God, I just don't understand how you can hit that well as a rookie and fall off that drastically, unless it is just injury based. But holy shit, poor guy.
That's a good segue to my topic.
This wasn't even my topic; it just came up.
Well, I'm taking it.
Yeah,
as a segue.
take it. Do the segue
because my segue is the 2019 Yankees, but specifically in reference to what transpired this past week with Brian Cashman.
Brian Cashman was my topic, so
yeah. So I don't. So to fill in everyone who's not a Yankees fan, and I'm sorry, this is going to be Yankees heavy episode.
Yep.
There was like 70 minutes of unhinged press availability at the owners or the big meetings,
the winter meetings, right?
Meetings.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so many things that Cashman said that just were red flags, but the one I want to the two things I want to stress. The number one, for some reason, I don't know if it's like trying to be cool or something, but downplaying analytics. Like he thought it was okay to brag that the Yankees have the smallest analytics department
in the AL East. Yeah.
Never mind the fact that like back in the early 2000s when it wasn't like a cool thing and Moneyball was big, like Peter Gammons multiple times reported the Yankees had the biggest analytics department. Like I don't know why he felt like he needed to say that they have a small analytics department. That just and this day and age kind of shows you to be incompetent, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
But the next biggest thing is his public kind of bashing of Giancarlo Stanton.
Yep.
I don't disagree with what he said, right? Giancarlo can't stay healthy. But that's the last thing you want to say in public, right? You don't want to basically, to everyone who hasn't heard it, Cashman came out and said that getting hurt was part of Giancarlo's game and they don't expect him to stay healthy all of next year, which you owe the guy $100 million over the next 4 seasons. And whether you're happy with him or not, he is working very hard to try and be on the field every day. He has major problems. He is a disappointment. He's not living up to his contract. You should have known that when you traded for him. But I don't see what that's going to accomplish. I don't see what going out there and bashing your, one of your biggest contract players is going to do. Like, and the collateral damage is going to be massive here. He's represented by the same agent who's representing Yoshinobu Yamamoto, one of the biggest free agent targets out there. And you could see his agent came out and said the next day, like, he's warning all international and domestic
foreign and domestic free agents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like very, very specifically worded.
Yeah. Like, it's a very good reminder. Like, he might have just fucked up and cost yourself this free agent. So, but anyway, what I was getting at with the 2019 Yankees, back to circle around, is I don't know why you're shunning analytics, and I don't know why you're getting out there and being aggressive like this. It's kind of drastic to see in just 4 years since that 2019 team how bad we've become at this. If you look at that 2019 team, and what I really wanted to bring up is this stat caught me this past week is astronomical. That 2019 team, which was a hodgepodge of people, there was a lot of injuries. Someone like Andujar getting hurt in the year kind of threw things for a loop. But that 2019 team had 13 players with an OPS plus above 100. We had 13 players above average. That's an MLB record. There has never been a team like that. So 4 years ago, and these aren't just like studs, right? This is on this list is Mike Tauchman, Cameron Maben, Mike Ford, Luke Voigt, Clint Frazier, Aaron Hicks. Yes, Aaron Hicks. He was 103, but still, he was above 100. So, right, you're that's something to be proud of. That season specifically, I remember we kind of all sung the praises of Cashman as a genius, and he did a great job that year of really putting together a brilliant roster with lots of injured players,
cast-offs and stuff. Yep.
That's got to be the product of analytics, right? Why would you trade for Mike Tauchman the day before the season? Because your analytics tell you that, and he was great for that year, and then we dumped him when we didn't need him anymore.
Yeah.
Same with Mike Ford.
Or
Mike
Gio
Ford
Urshela. How about Gio Urshela too?
Oh man, I still wish we had Gio. Gio still outplayed Donaldson, but whatever.
Yeah.
I guess that's the price of getting someone like IKF. So I don't get it. I don't get what has transpired from 2019 to 2023 to warp Cashman's mind, and I don't know, Ethan, help me out here. Take over here, because
I have lots of thoughts.
I'm running out of words.
Yeah, I have lots of thoughts, and it's too bad Colin doesn't have a voice, because I'm sure he does too. But Colin, maybe you can give us all your thoughts next week, or give us a short summary today. But
I got it.
Yeah, but no, I got lots of thoughts, and it's funny, Matt, because that was literally the main thing I wanted to talk about today. And I'm also curious to talk about Craig Counsell and managers, but we can maybe save that for next time. But in terms of Cash. So you guys obviously know that I have been like Cash's biggest defender as far as Yankee fans go, right? Yankee fans, as we have discussed ad nauseum, are a fickle bunch, to put it kindly, and a bunch of spoiled dipshits, if we want to be a little bit more blunt about it. And most of them are constantly calling for Cashman's head, despite the fact we are in the middle of an unprecedented run of success and winning, even if it doesn't include the World Series. But we haven't had a losing season since 1992 or 3, Colin, I think? 2, since 1992. So I have obviously been one of Cashman's staunchest defenders. And I've said on this podcast, right? Trust in Cash. Trust in Cash. It took 1 week or 2 weeks, and I have made a 180. I have to say, I'm pretty disgusted. I'm pretty disgusted. I'm not calling for his head necessarily, but I'm not about to be defending him and saying trust in Cash anymore. And so it's the two big prongs that Matt was just talking about, right? And I do have a theory. As to explaining this fucking what do we want to call it? This not outbreak, but this
absurdity. I don't know.
Just him all of a sudden lashing out. So the first thing with the analytics. God, I was pissed when I saw that. I mean, who in 2023 is going to take pride and talk about having a small analytics department? That just is so dumb. So dumb. But I think what's happening, my theory, is that how long has he been official GM, Kyle? Has it been 25 years now that he's been at the top?
February of 98.
Yeah, so 25
His
years.
First move was the Knobloch trade.
Okay. So 25 years of this, which frankly, 25 years of being the Yankees GM sounds brutal. I'm surprised that he doesn't look like he's 90 years old, right? It's kind of a miracle that he actually kind of looks his age. I'm wondering if his nerves are just shot at this point. If everything is just so frayed that all of these spoiled dipshits I mentioned, all of these shitty ass Yankee fans yelling all the time with their stupid things on Twitter all the time, if he's finally just giving into that a little bit, and he just can't help himself, and he's wanting to have them shut the fuck up and be listen, you're all wrong. I know that you're all complaining about this, but you're all wrong. And the funny thing about this, right, is so he's lashing out and he's trying to defend himself and defend the Yankees, and I think he's trying to appease all of these asshole fans who are analytics suck, blah blah blah, analytics are ruining the team. Here he is bragging we have the smallest analytics department. We just had a fucking disaster of a season and we were 2 games above 500. So if you are telling the truth and we do have the smallest analytics department, then you're being a fucking moron. It's so dumb. You're trying to appease all of these stupid fucking Tonys in the Bronx being Brian Cashman's fucking stupid and he needs to get fired. And you're trying to appease these people? We just went 82-80. Our roster is fucking horrendous. And you're going to sit here and brag about having the smallest analytics department in 2023.
Yeah. You're bragging about what's making you bad.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked, right? Okay, so that's one bit. Is this bragging about the lack of analytics? Tied to this that I want to talk about. I'm going to get to the G thing also because that's a whole thing too, right? I'm sure you guys saw. I don't think we talked about it yet. Aaron Judge, the new captain of the Yankees, well, new as of this past season, has a lot more say, it seems, in the organization, and he has chin wags with Hal Steinbrenner from reports, and with Cashman, and there are reports that have been coming down that he believes the Yankees have been paying attention to the wrong numbers, and that the numbers we do need to be paying attention to are batting average,
Favorite.
and RBIs, my favorite. Now, obviously, Matt and I have had the batting average argument many times on the podcast, and I think it's largely for entertainment value, right? It's kind of just amusing, but there is a little bit of a philosophical difference there, and that's okay, right? That's fine. However, like when you combine that with what we're looking at, and granted, I understand you look at this Yankees team and you see these horrible, awful batting averages, and you see lack of RBIs and all of this, and you think, okay, yeah, Aaron Judge is right. That would be great, but it's still just so stuck in the past, and it's so I don't want to say blind. That's a little bit too harsh, but like as Matt and I have talked about, batting average is encompassed in other stats that can give us more information. And like as an example, now this is an extreme example, but here's an example. There's somebody this year, and you guys will probably know right away. There's somebody this year who had an 817 OPS, a 122 OPS plus, 22% above league average, right? He had a 474 slugging, which is, solid. He hit 47 home runs, okay? But he only batted 197. He did drive in 100. He did drive in 104 runs. So if you like RBIs, you see 100 RBIs and you see 47 homers and you like it. But if you're
from the leadoff spot,
but if you look at batting average too much, you see that 197 and you think, blah, 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 blah. He had a 122 OPS plus, right? He was a good hitter. He walks a lot. He walked 126 times. He gets on base. He scored 108 runs, right? Like the Yankees would have been desperate for somebody like that this year. And this is Kyle Schwarber, of course, as you guys know.
Ethan, somewhere in Philadelphia, some Phillies fan has a boner and they don't know why.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, cousin Greg will enjoy this, I'm sure. But like, I'm kind of disappointed in Judge for coming out and saying that. And I don't expect the players to necessarily know, but it's like, really? How are we not past this? I mean, I get that you can look at this team and you see all the horrible batting averages and you think, yeah, putting the ball in play more often is going to help. And I don't disagree with that. But just saying that it's about batting average and RBIs, I think, is just really short-sighted. And this is the type of shit Bill James has been writing about since like the 1980s. And it's kind of like disappointing to still be hearing people talk about this. Now, the G issue is the other big thing here. So the analytics comment that Cashman made was already like really shitty, but it's like somewhat understandable. He clearly was like fired up and he was pissed and he like swore and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, a GM is going to show some emotion sometimes and, whatever. The G thing, I got to say, I'm like pretty shocked by, and I think it's like, it shows a disturbing lack of professionalism and class. And it's like what Matt said. Everything Cashman said is true, but we don't want the GM to be saying that in public. We don't want that being out there. It's not a good look.
What is your end game? Are you trying to piss him off so he waives his no trade clause?
That's the only.
Are you trying to get yourself fired? Like,
yeah.
What is the purpose of that? What does that accomplish?
Yeah, that's yep.
You can be upset with him, and you can still convey that notion in a public press conference without bashing him. You can say, "Hey, we hope he redoubles his efforts to fitness and health, because when he's in the lineup, he's one of the best hitters in the league." Blah 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 blah. Something like that.
So right? Easy to say it better. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm more upset in the fact that the repercussions it may have with other people. That is
no, he fucked our chances with Yamamoto, as far as I'm concerned. Unless we throw Yamamoto like $30 million more than any other team, which seems unlikely because the Mets are going to go after him. Steve Cohen's not going to get outbid, I don't think. But But yeah, it's just what is he hoping the result of this is going to be? The only thing that I can imagine is that he wants G to get pissed and waive his no trade clause, and Cashman thinks he can find somebody to take Stanton. But even so, it's just not a good look, not a good look at all. And G's agent with that statement, I mean, why? We talked a little bit about this last offseason. People are still going to want to come and play for the Yankees. Judge and Rizzo can still recruit people, and you know, I don't think it's going to ruin everything, but I definitely think it puts a dent in things, and I think that it's going to make free agents think twice now. I think they're going to say, "Man, if I struggle, Cashman's going to come out and say this fucking passive aggressive bullshit about me," and that's kind of lame.
Why do I want to play for him?
I don't want to deal with that. And plus, the Yankees are already kind of like still having these old fashioned uptight rules with the people are still not allowed to have the facial hair and everything, right? I mean, or if they have ended that rule, nobody's actually doing it yet. It's so silly, but
just the stash. Still, it's dumb.
Yeah, it's really dumb. I mean, I look at like the Phillies, and they talked about this on the podcast, Kyle. So I know you've heard about this, but like, and it's not just the Phillies, right? You look at like any baseball player or any of these baseball teams for the most part. A lot of these guys have fucking beards. They like to have facial hair. Like, I don't know, just let them just be who they want to be and look how they want to look and shit. I just this whole idea of like, we're the New York Yankees and we shave and we are clean shaven. I think it's like really silly in 2023. But that's kind of aside the point here. The G thing, as far as I'm concerned, is like a fiasco. Just really, really, really disappointed in Cashman. And like I said, yeah, I think the biggest thing is we screwed ourselves on Yamamoto and possibly some other people. I think after 25 years, Matt, I think you might have been off the call when I was saying this. I think the 25 years is weighing on Cash, and I think maybe this is a sign that maybe he's ready to move on. What was one other interesting thing I was going to say to you guys? I don't know if you saw this. I saw this just this morning. David Samson, who was the president or vice president or something of the Marlins from 2002 to 2017. He was on the Dan Le Batard show, the famous Dan Le Batard, famous sports writer down in Florida, has a podcast that's very popular. David Samson was on that show, and he said that he thinks Cashman is done basically because of these comments, unless they basically like win the World Series this year. He's like, if the Yankees underperform again, I think Cashman's a goner after saying these things. Like, I don't think that that's acceptable for a GM to say. Now, this guy comes from the Marlins, although he was there for 15 years, so we take it with a grain of salt. But it was interesting to hear from somebody who did do this job for 15 years,
Well, in those 15 years, though, I believe he won as many World Series as the Yankees did.
That's true. That's exactly right. Yeah.
So.
Yep. He won the same amount of titles since 2002 as we have. Yep. Exactly.
At the expense of the Yankees.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, fucking the Cashman thing, just really, really disappointing. So you will no longer hear me saying trust in Cash.
Yeah.
Not after this. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So, yep. Anyways.
Now, have you guys heard the scuttlebutt while we're talking about Cash and the Yankees about the KBO outfielder that everyone seems to think is going to sign with the Yankees?
Jung Hoo Lee, the Korean guy?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear about this. I didn't hear that the Yankees were targeting him even.
I don't know if the Yankees are targeting him, but everyone who's got a YouTube channel thinks that the Yankees are going to sign him.
Okay.
Because he's a left-handed contact bat who plays good defense in the outfield. So left hand needed by the Yankees. Short porch, yeah. Good contact rate though. Also
definitely need
Yankees and corner outfield potential. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. Right. They're saying Hae-Sung Kim is recruiting him pretty hard as well to join the Padres.
For San Diego. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who knows what the Padres situation is going to be after the kind of tragic passing of their owner, which
right.
Again, I didn't know much about the situation there, but definitely pretty sad, right? Especially since it was kind of an open secret that the reason he was spending all this money is he was trying to win a championship before he died.
Yeah.
So disappointed to see that the Padres really, really fucking sucked this year.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
You can usually find at least a group of people who are mad at the owners of their favorite team, but it sounds like no one was mad at this guy.
Yeah, he has a shockingly good reputation.
Yeah. I mean, and there's a lot of stuff from what I was watching this week that he did for beyond baseball that he did
Yeah.
for the city of San Diego, which
Yeah,
is
Molly Knight
also
wrote a
really
nice
heartwarming
column
too.
about it. Yeah.
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 You know, it's not only just paying the medical bills of the former player with mental health problems who you're trying to help, right? It's not just investing in the city and the team, and the stadium, and the area around, but also doing stuff for the city's homeless population and like baseball lost a good owner,
Yep.
and that's even more pronounced and more apparent when you look at the fiasco going on with the Oakland A's right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you've got 2 days ago we lost an excellent, outstanding owner in San Diego, and then today we're getting news of the vote to move Oakland from the Athletics from Oakland to Las Vegas, which became official and unanimous, which is again a shame to the baseball fans in Oakland. And
I know.
It's all about money and all about market, and disappointing.
But are they even going to do better in Las Vegas, right? Like, it'll be
I don't
interesting
think
to
so.
see. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
No, I don't think they're not going to invest. I don't think they're going to invest any more in the team.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? If John Fisher still chooses to not spend any money, like, they're still going to fucking suck, and nobody's going to go.
I think you see Fisher build the stadium, try and make a couple splashes of insignificant value, and sell the team 3 to 4 years after the stadium is built when he can maximize the value of the franchise.
Pull a Jeffrey Loria, kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what's happening. Jeffrey Loria, who was such a bad owner that he was removed from the Red Sox, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Which again, the losers are the core baseball fans in Oakland, right?
Yeah.
Who did a number of valiant efforts to try and preserve the team there, but sorry guys.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Speaking of Vegas, by the way, here's your non-baseball plug for this episode. If you guys are interested, which it's going to be a disaster, tune into the F1 race that's going to be in Vegas this weekend, because it's just going to be a carnival of follies. F1 apparently forgot to consider that in November at 10 o'clock at night, Vegas is pretty cold. And so there's, they're already talking about plummeting ticket prices. There was way overestimated demand, right? A weekend pass when the race first went on sale was selling for like $1,000 to $2,000, and it's just plummeting now. Like, it's like hotels are seeing demand drop, the race is seeing demand drop, ticket sales and prices are plunging. The residents of the city of Las Vegas are pissed off. And oh, by the way, the race is probably going to be terrible because they're running it at 10 o'clock or midnight, like really, really late on Saturday night, Sunday morning. I think it's actually like 10 o'clock because they want it to be broadcast in prime time in Europe where F1's big. And they want all the glitz of the Las Vegas strip lights to be out there. But no one in the U.S. is going to care about it. The track is going to be cold. Like, it's going to be the coldest track temperature race ever in F1 history.
Wow.
And if you don't know that about F1, like, they need hot asphalt for the tires to work. Like, it's going to be bad. Pirelli is already kind of scrambling to do whatever they can to preserve the tires, because without the heat in the tires, there's going to be no grip. It's going to be
like scary. There's like dangerous possibilities.
It's going to be bad. So tonight is when the first round of free practice. So I'm assuming you and Colin don't know much about the F1 process, but in a normal race weekend, you get 3 sessions of practice where basically teams can go out there and experiment and gather data. Then they have a qualifying session. There's 3 sessions of qualifying. There's 20 drivers. So after the first session, the slowest 5 are eliminated. After the second session, the slowest 5 are eliminated. And then the last session is where you kind of set the pecking order. And then Sunday is when the race occurs. So you've got this kind of this segmented weekend where you can gather data and adjust the car and try and optimize it so that it's best for the track. And it's going to be, even with all that optimization, it's going to be a disaster because the way the circuit is set up, they wanted long straights so the cars go zoom, zoom, zoom super fast down the strip. That's a ultra high downforce setup, meaning that you want to set up the car so it's smushing it into the road as much as possible. Or excuse me, no, the opposite. You don't want downforce on the setup. Yeah, I'm backwards. You don't want downforce on the setup because you want to go faster in the straights. But that makes cornering even more difficult. And when you're cornering with cold tires, you have no grip. It's going to be like driving on ice. It's going to be really odd to see these guys drive because there are no treads on these tires. They are slicks. They get grip by having heat in the tires and abrasiveness in the asphalt. It's just going to be wild to watch. And if it wasn't at 10 o'clock at night on Saturday night, Sunday morning, I'd watch it and be in bed.
Yeah.
But it's a shame because it's supposed to be this big marquee event, right? It's the first time they're having it in Las Vegas. Liberty Media, the new U.S.-based owners of Formula One, are trying to make it a marquee event, and it's going to be bad racing. And you've got the most prominent driver in the sport, kind of the Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout of the sport, saying he doesn't care for it. He thinks it's all for show. It's not going to be good racing. They're there just to try and build the sport, not to actually have good racing. So the guy, his name's Max Verstappen. He's a Dutch guy who he shuns the spotlight already, but he's already coming out and bashing it. Like, yeah, I see why we're doing it, but it's dumb. So he's already also saying that because he's already won the championship for the year. But yeah. So anyway, that's my Las Vegas plug. We can go back to our normal scheduled podcast right now.
That's crazy. Well, should we wrap it up?
I want to say my piece on cash.
Okay, sweet.
Sorry. For all our listeners, sorry for the whiplash that you are experiencing, kind of like the whiplash that the drivers will experience in the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
There you go. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, let's go back to Colin for Cashman.
Perfect.
That was good. This will be quick. I wanted to point out two things, and then I have a Cashman comment that I want to hear your guys' thoughts about. 2 points each of you made individually, I actually wrote about in my book. The first, Ethan, was there was a time pre 93 when this whole staying above 500 winning streak started, that free agents did shun the Yankees, and Greg Maddux is probably the most infamous one of them all. But there were a number of people who had their doubts about coming to New York and being able to succeed in that environment because they were the toxicity of baseball in the 80s. And so it was bad. I'm not saying that's what it is right now. I'm just pointing out that it can get like that again. It can happen. I totally agree with that. And then Matt, to your point, you talked about that 2019 team. I wrote, I'd have to go back to get the exact language, but it was a combination of like Talkman, Gardner, and Maben, maybe, who had a higher either B-WAR or F-WAR, I'm not sure which one it was, than Bryce Harper, combined. That's just one season and everything, but that was a big deal that season because Harper was supposed to be a Yankee according to everybody but Brian Cashman. And it was like, all right, well, that's a win for Cashman. He was able to find more affordable flexibility there, because like that's, I think, Matt, is a really good point when you talk about analytics. Like, that can help you when you run into a situation like where Harper did get injured, last year. Like, Harper's situation on the Phillies is unique because they had an opening at first base, but the Yankees don't have that. And so, like, if Harper has the same situation happen to him, then the Yanks are just kind of, SOL. And a lot of organizations in baseball would be SOL and be like, well, I don't know what the fuck to do. So, I don't get the analytics piece with Cashman in general, but I just thought that was interesting because I had written about both of those things in my book. The thing I wanted to say to you both about Cashman, though, and this might piss off some of the dick sucker George Steinbrenner Yankee fans out there. What Cashman said about G, what Cashman said about analytics, the way Cashman has been acting in general is like George Steinbrenner used to act.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And like
that's very good.
The people who think he was this genius, I'm like, no, this is what he did. This is what he did all the time. Every single day, in fact. He wanted to be in the media. He wanted to stir it up. Like, he thought that made the organization better. And I'm not saying that, like, Cashman is purposely trying to do it, but maybe he's just, I don't know, by osmosis turned into a clone of George Steinbrenner. But it just made I didn't even think about that until you guys started talking about it today. And I was like, I mean, this is literally what George would have done.
Yeah.
Like, this is what George did. Not what the 24-year-olds who never actually saw George Steinbrenner be George Steinbrenner think George Steinbrenner did. This is George Steinbrenner. The way Brian Cashman is acting. I just, that's what I think, at least.
Yeah. That's a good point. And sad. Just very sad. We don't need that shit.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, you know, like Matt was saying, or Ethan, you were saying the Le Batard show, like, how long does it go on? He's obviously not the owner of the Yankees. It's a different situation, but not good nonetheless.
No. I'm wondering, like, maybe it is, you know, I was starting to think maybe it is time. Maybe, you know, maybe we hire Kim Ang and maybe Cashman goes and retires to Belize or something. You know, he earned it.
Well, and Gina Afterman is still on staff too.
Oh, that's right.
She's been Cashman's right hand woman for,
I forgot about
probably
that.
since Kim left.
Yeah.
I think so.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if they would, you know, like we were talking about last time. I mean, you would think that Brian Cashman, you know, what's his face, the guy who just quit the Mets. He's gotten like 3 opportunities. He's terrible. What's his name? He was
he built the worst team money could buy this year.
Billy Epler.
Oh,
Yeah.
Billy Epler. That's right.
Yeah, he was terrible in
was he
with
Anaheim,
Angels.
right? Mm-hmm.
Yep, terrible with the Mets. Like, and he was Cashman's right hand guy for a long time. I'm like, it is so blatant. I know we talked about this last time, but it's just so blatant, the sexism.
Yeah.
In all sports, but
yeah, holy
particularly
shit.
in baseball.
Yeah. Oy vey. Well, I want to talk Craig Counsell next time. But
that sounds good.
But it's a little. I know it's a little late for you guys now, so I don't know that we should get into that.
I'm a Pat Murphy guy myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, my battery's almost dead. So
okay.
22%.
All right, boys.
But yeah.
Cool. All right.
Well, I want to say I appreciate you carrying the show, and hopefully my voice wasn't too annoying for the people who decided to listen to it.
It's about damn time we did our part.
Yeah, and it sounded fine on over here, so I think it'll be fine. So
maybe one of these days you guys will catch a rant on the recorded part of this show from me. You know.
Right.
You listeners missed out on a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I used to just hit like record whenever, but now I usually like at least ask you guys.
The damn countdown
ready to go.
Away.
Yeah, so we would know.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, boys. Any other shout outs?
Just happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Oh shoot! I gotta think of a shout out. Come on.
Yeah, why Matt's thinking so we won't be back next week. Maybe the week after.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. But 2 or 3 weeks from now.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to I don't know. Fuck shit. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave blank. Shout out to blank.
Just say it, Matt.
Fill in the blank, everyone.
Say it.
It's a real flaccid ending
lame.
there.
We are lame. We are unable to beat Ohio State and Michigan.
This is good.